This computer. Oh yeah.
Trying to hear what you're playing.
It's the intro right now.
Is this Beyonce? No.
Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay. Ooh.
All right, we should be live. We're doing that damn thing, I think. Who knows?
All right, man. Oh, wait. I just got the notification. My man, we are live in the hizzy.
We're live. It's a wet-ass Wednesday. And welcome to the show with us. Yeah, this is a fun video to watch. It's an absolutely terrible, terrible song. But the best part...
Megan Thee Stallion
and Cardi B. Yeah, and let me tell you, the best part of this whole thing is you got to go out and Google this shit. Ben Shapiro just cell-phoned himself. First, he read the lyrics to the song, and Ben Shapiro's just, oh, wait, let me get this going. Ben Shapiro's a friggin' fool. And he's this pseudo.
He's an idiot.
He's this pseudo-intellectual trying to play himself. But not only did he read the lyrics as if it was going to be some sort of impressive thing, right? Then he says, my doctor wife says these women have a problem that pussy shouldn't get wet. I'm like, dude, you somehow outed yourself as both married and an incel at the same time. I don't get it. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about that wet ass Wednesday, that wet ass P word with
There's
Megan,
so many things
Cardi.
I want to say.
There's so many things. Kevin Shapiro. And good times,
man.
Good times. Hey, it's the Evan and Aaron show. It's Wednesday night. This is my buddy Evan. I'm Aaron. We're already into it, as you can see.
How y'all doing?
Chit-chatting. Got a lot of stuff we want to talk about tonight, but I definitely think to kick it all off, Evan, what's been your favorite part of the Democratic National Convention so far? What's got you motivated? What are you liking about this?
Man, here's the thing. Like,
greetings also.
Go ahead. Yeah. There you go. Everybody.
Thanks.
There you go. Oh, I can't give a, sorry. Nope. But it's very good. Anyway.
Well, tasty.
I think the big thing for the convention so far for me is they are doing an incredible job navigating this COVID thing. I mean, they are putting together a production that I think speaks to people. Do not watch this expecting to see, the regular thing, but watch this expecting it to hit you like square in the feels, man. Because like last night, dude, I mean, first of all, you start the whole thing off with the keynote being Michelle Obama. I mean, bro, if Michelle Obama is talking to you, you're going to sit up and listen. You're just going to sit up and listen.
You lean in.
She delivered in a way that it just brought everybody in. Yeah. It was able to bring people. I think it was able to unite those people. Now, granted, I do believe that there's less middle ground as far as people who are undecided this election than there probably has ever been before. But I think that there are those moderate to centrist people who are like, I'm just done with the vitriol that's coming out of the White House. Oh, wow, look at this. It's actually someone who is talking like they care. And so that brought them in, and then they were able to actually see that Michelle Obama really does care.
Yeah.
And it was good. Last night, Dr. Biden was fabulous, absolutely wonderful, just very cordial, very real. That's what I appreciated the most about her. But the one thing, bro, that got me last night, it was as a father. It was I forget his name. I think it's Avi, where he was talking about healthcare. He was the young man that was stricken down with ALS. And I'm weeping like a baby, dude. Yeah. I mean, just weeping like a little baby, because what the DNC has done, they have tapped into, I think, and a lot of people accuse, I think, the left of tapping into fear and just fear mongering about COVID and stuff like that. what they've done, and they've done it masterfully so far, has been able to tap into people's concern, but also give people hope at the very end of the
Mhm.
program, which is beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, the way they've done this so far. So that's been my kind of highlights. Aaron, how about you, man? What have you
Well, I
seen?
want to grab something real quick and not go down too far of a rabbit hole, but they're immediately, every side slinging mud at each other and trying to
Hmm.
spin it. And
Hmm.
I like what you said. I don't think the fact that Democrats talk about climate change and COVID and rightly pointing out the shortcomings of a Trump administration thus far. I don't think that's fear mongering. I think that's laying out things, and then ironically, you also got a lot of criticism. Oh, what are the Democrats are just fear mongering? They don't have answers for everything. Well, I'm listening to all these people, and throughout
Yeah.
laying out specifically what the plans are, what a Biden administration will do to address that, to listen to scientists on the COVID, to listen to the people as to what we need to do when it comes to police reform. And let's remember, that, Biden's not all about the whole police defunding, but he's being pulled slightly left of his typical centrist stance. So I think this is a positive thing. And,
Hmm.
you know, uh, to contrast that, I mean, I think we can already see with the non-political lineup that the RNC is putting out with Scott Baio and Diamond and Silk and the smirking MAGA hat kid and the pew pew whatever the Hatfields and McCoy that's
Yeah.
down there in Missouri, and just
Right.
and the the demon sperm doctor, all of these people, the My Pillow guy. There's where your fear mongering is going to come in. It's going to be all about just these scare tactics, and I think
Right.
it's just such a failure. Or to me, it just illustrates the differences between the two. Somebody said it, in kind of the postmortems on Monday night after Michelle spoke. The one main thing that you didn't get, and I'm with you. I think the Democrats are doing a really good job with this
Hmm.
whole virtual kind of situation. It definitely changes things,
Yeah.
but I think two key things on positive and negatively. I think Michelle Obama's speech would have lasted 3 times as long Monday night. There would have been so many absolute, minute long stoppages
Oh yeah.
for applause and acknowledgement because of the truths that she was speaking.
Right.
So that was a little bit of a disappointment. At the same time, she got to deliver a prepared speech. I know it was by video.
Hmm.
Um, and apparently the dig on her doing a video was that she didn't get the number of deaths correctly. Um, that we talk about cell phone.
Um,
But
yeah, yeah, there you go.
she got to deliver this uninterrupted, well thought out speech.
Hmm.
So that ended up being a good thing. And then last night, instead of the typical go around the convention hall and the great state of Illinois,
Yeah.
gives its however many delegate votes, for Joe Biden, I I don't think that's kind of interesting. It's very, it's a very traditional kind of thing. Um,
Hmm.
but I thought the way they went about it last night, going around the country and it illustrated what we're all going through right now. It
Yeah.
has to be a
Yeah.
virtual thing. So I thought that was a pretty cool aspect of that whole thing. So I think they're pulling it off. It's going to be interesting to see the
Mhm.
juxtaposition with next week. And just I gotta say it, the disgust I already have that this is going to be held on the White House lawn. I mean, I don't care who you
Well,
are. That's just bad taste.
yeah, and just let me comment real quick on what you were saying right there, man. I think that the beautiful thing about that moment last night, where they went around and counted up the delegates, my significant other and I forget what I'm supposed to call her now. She said don't call her significant other anymore. I don't know. I forget. I've been drinking. Anyway,
You're going to want to get that right at some point.
I know I am. I am. But we were talking about this, and it was beautiful, right? I mean, it was
Yes.
absolutely gorgeous to be able to not hear people say, "Hey," like you said, the great state of Nevada, where you
Mhm.
can gamble and Las Vegas and stuff. It was actually cool to see places that you didn't necessarily connect. Like,
Mhm.
for instance, Indiana, dude, it was beautiful to have Buttigieg do it up in, South
Yes.
Bend. That's
Yeah.
perfect, perfect. Because we were calling it. We were like, it's probably going to be on the circle. It's probably going to be in it. No, it was up north, and I was like, that's
Mm.
awesome. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Very cool.
They staged that out really well. I was really happy with my man from Ohio, though. The very first guy, I'm like, you should just keep it on him. My man was like
Mm.
ready to fight. He was like, we're in the great state of Ohio, and we're tired of Trump's bullshit. It's like
Yeah.
I can be proud of that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I can be proud of that. I can be proud. But anyway, I
I,
digress.
I thought it was actually considering that doing it virtually and knowing going in that Joe Biden is the nominee. I thought it was very what's the word I'm looking for? Thought it was very gracious of
Okay.
Biden to give, you know, AOC an opportunity on behalf
I have a
of
question for you, though,
Bernie
about that.
Sanders. Apparently, they knew about it going in.
Okay.
It was not a
Okay.
surprise,
Okay.
and it is not unusual at the convention for
Mm.
somebody to say, "Hey, we're giving our votes to this particular person," and that
Sure.
is their right.
Sure.
That's the beauty of the
Right.
democratic process, and I think that was something they were illustrating last night.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Bernie gave a very impassioned speech on Monday night. And for
I do
anybody
too.
who's confused, Joe Biden is about as moderate and bipartisan a career politician as you can get.
Yep.
So this notion that he's being dragged leftward has a little bit of truth to it, in the sense that, yes, he's an absolute moderate in centrist, and he doesn't necessarily push those
Mm-hmm.
particular agenda items.
Mm-hmm.
But Bernie has made it clear, and AOC is making it clear, and Ilhan Omar and the squad, and so many other people, Cory Booker, and plenty of other
Mm-hmm.
people are saying, look, just because we're slightly more left doesn't mean these are radical policies.
Right.
To me, it's not radical to believe that everybody in this country deserves health care.
Not
It's
at
not
all.
radical to believe that we can provide jobs and a living wage to
Mm-hmm.
people and not bankrupt this country. It's not
Yeah.
radical to me that we can do any number of things. We can deal with climate change. We can
Mm-hmm.
transition from a fossil fuel economy to a green economy, and probably, if we do it correctly, make us so damn good at it that we'll
Mm-hmm.
forget about the fossil fuel economy. It'll become
Exactly.
this minor point.
It's funny when politics became this or that, and it's interesting because it actually can be this and that.
Yes.
I'm a huge squad fan, huge AOC fan. I know the flaws that there has been with quite frankly most male politicians in their career,
Yeah,
and I
wrong.
know the things that that we say, that we found about Bernie, about how he can be kind of difficult to work with and how condescending and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to give him props on his speech on Monday.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna have to give him props. AOC took some heat. She took some heat about doing the nomination or nominating Bernie Sanders. But here's what I say to that.
You
I'm like,
don't care.
who else, truly, seriously, who else would have made sense to do that?
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
number one, this is part of tradition. This is
Yes.
this is tradition. You
Mhm.
usually nominate at least two people. You do. But you come in with the understanding that one,
Mhm.
okay,
And I
this is the
thought this
one.
was a good head nod.
Uh,
You gave
yes.
him a spot on Monday night, you gave him support on Tuesday night, and
Hmm.
quite frankly, at this point, I think if Biden and Harris do win,
Yep.
Bernie will get replaced by probably a very leftist Democrat in his Senate seat. He deserves a cabinet position. Put the man in
Absolutely.
charge of any number of things.
I
And
think. Yep. Yep.
that's one of the things I look forward to in a Biden administration,
Hmm.
is how many qualified people
Dude,
there exist. Think of the
it's going
vast
to be the
majority.
Avengers. It's
Think of the
going to be
vast
the
majority of
Avengers.
the Democratic presidential field. There's a few people that I don't have much use for, or a couple people who, like, I like Andrew Wang. Hey, Andrew, go keep doing the things that you're doing and we will
Keep
support
doing it.
you.
Absolutely.
He's not a cabinet guy. But
No.
Warren,
Sanders,
Sanders,
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg, all of these people
Oh my
have
God.
bright futures as long as this is a one race. I don't know what happens to the
Yeah.
Democratic Party if they honestly, I fear, and not to go all conspiracy, but I fear
No.
that Donald Trump will pass a law that it's illegal to be a Democrat on January 21st next year. I mean, I hate this stuff. I hate that I'm getting this way, but the
No.
man literally said today that he doesn't know much about QAnon other than they support him, so that makes them good people. I don't even know how, dude. I'm trying to have these conversations online. I posted my thing
Yeah.
on Facebook, and how do you
Yeah.
have this conversation? And
Yep.
it is an issue. Like, how can I have a conversation with somebody if on a fundamental level we can't agree that grass is
Hmm.
green or the sky is blue or it's raining
Yeah.
or not raining? Because these things seem like the most fundamental aspects to me.
Hmm.
I watch people post stuff online. I got a buddy who lives up in Fort Wayne. We're fraternity brothers, and he's got some, and he basically is a troll. He posts shit just to rile up
Sure.
these people.
Sure.
But the responses they have are, if they believe this stuff, I don't understand how they function in the real world,
Yeah.
because how do you go outside and fundamentally fail to grasp shit going on? And I don't know, man. I really, really struggle with that whole thing, because I
Yep.
want to reach out. I want to find this common ground, because here's to me the big difference between a Biden and Trump administration,
Hmm.
or Trump and any other administration on the planet, basically, is
Yep.
that Trump doesn't give a shit about the people who didn't vote for him.
No.
He
Obviously.
literally said the other day, let Democrat cities rock.
Hmm.
Biden, and this is my take on it. If I were president, I would want to govern those people and say, look, I hear your concerns and your complaints. Let's have a discussion about how I can best serve you as
Right.
your civil servant. This is my
Sure.
job. I'm the president
Sure.
of the entire country. But
Yep.
when they're like, hey, that's not a torrential downpour that you're witnessing, fill the drains all throughout the city. That's, the sun is not out. That's just, we painted that in the sky. No, if we can't acknowledge these basic things, how do you begin to have a conversation, and how do you govern from that point forward? I'm struggling with it. I
Yeah.
don't know,
No,
man.
dude.
I'm getting all over the
No.
place because I've had
No,
drinks.
you're not.
Good
No.
time.
No. No. Here's the thing. I teach a course called Intro to Social Justice, and I start the course out all the time saying, look, there are some conversations to be had, but then there are more conversations not to be had,
Yeah.
because there are simply people who are so close-minded, people who are so fixated on what they know, that they're not willing to listen. They're not willing to have civil discourse. And I think your example of being president, it's one thing for me, if I was president, to say, yes, I want to govern all of you. Hey, come to the Rose Garden. We'll have a beer summit. No problem. So that's one thing, but it's another thing to sit down and have David Duke sitting across from me and saying, hey, I think, white people are, supreme. And I think that, we deserve our own spot in America.
Right.
I'm going to be like, dude, get up and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
There are some people you just absolutely, and this is sad for me to say, but we have gotten to this point in America where there are just some people that will not listen until they are brought down a notch. They won't listen. And even at that point, they will stew and sit and stew, and they won't listen and they won't learn. Here's the interesting thing, that what has happened since Trump. I think that those of us who are liberal, yes, we were pissed, but we learned. We sat, we learned, we figured out, you know what? Okay, there's a section of folks that we're not going to reach. There is a part of people who are Republicans who may even had voted for Trump that we now can talk to, because they're seeing,
Yes.
there's no better word, the atrocity that is going on in the White
failure,
House.
the failure, the
that's going on.
unfitness,
Yeah.
so ill-equipped, and it's sad. And I will unequivocally welcome anybody back to the right side of history who says,
Yes.
I fucked up
Mm-hmm.
and I don't love Joe Biden, but I can't vote for Donald Trump and will hope to progress beyond that. And you know what?
Yep.
If in the next 4 years Joe Biden fucks up, if he's not fit for the job,
Okay.
then we will
Call his ass out.
have this conversation again. But right now, to me, this is one of the easiest questions I've ever been faced with in my entire life, and I don't understand how anyone would be having an issue with this at all.
One of the most brilliant things that we said last night, my significant other and I, we were sitting there and we were watching.
Stop it.
No, I know. I get it. I can't remember my whatever Sherpa.
Your
There you go.
your phone is probably blowing up right now.
I'm gonna call her my Sherpa. There you go.
Your Sherpa.
My Sherpa. There you go.
Oh Lord, man. I don't know about improvement.
Isn't that? Okay. Anyway, I've been drinking. One of the most interesting things last night, and probably the most intelligent thing that the DNC did, was that they had middle-aged, older white guys on the screen. Just everyday, run-of-the-mill, middle-aged, older white guys on the screen saying, I'm voting for Joe Biden because I cannot stand what's happening in the White House. I love that because it shows that this is a party that can find solidarity. This is a party that, quite frankly, can unite people from all different backgrounds. You go next week, and let me
finish your thoughts, sir.
You go next week, and I guarantee you it will be harder. I'm not saying impossible, but it'll be harder to find the amount of people. It'll be harder to find the diversity of people that they present at that point. It'll be harder.
I agree with you. I'm sort of
push back.
I'm sort of giggling at the notion that the Democratic Party showed diversity by putting up middle-aged white dudes. But I get your point. I get the point you're making. To rebut that, and I saw this from a friend of mine right before we came on, and that was the Washington Post, and I'm trying to think, somebody else had headlines talking about the fact that that's a misstep. Where is the representation for the youth and the diversity vote? Because look, hold on. Monday night, we got John Kasich.
Okay.
Republican.
Yep.
Middle-aged white guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who, left to his druthers, would implement a fairly right-wing policy if he were allowed to. It just wouldn't do it as crass and brutal as Donald Trump did. I understand why John Kasich was brought in to speak. I think it's a good idea. But where is the attempt to bring in the kids who were activists after the Parkland shooting?
Sure. Nope. That was a misstep.
Well, and who knows what tonight and tomorrow night brings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, I think it's a legit criticism to say maybe the Democrats are focusing a little too much on trying to win back a certain Trump voter than they are to just get out the vote of people who they really care to have their vote for. Because honestly, if you're really, really struggling between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, I don't really trust your judgment on a whole lot.
Yeah, right.
I got to be honest. I question certain aspects of it. It's like the conversation, on your page earlier. Like, hey, if you think both these candidates suck, then don't vote or pick somebody else who closely does. Pick Green Party. Pick Libertarian. Pick.
Man.
No,
I know.
At least stand on your principles. But if you're like, man, I think both these people are vile, I'm still going to vote for Donald Trump. Nah, I think that decision lacks intellectual merit. And I know anybody who probably votes for Trump doesn't care about that phrase anyway. I know a couple people do. I feel bad. I know one or two guys that we're close friends with that I don't think bad about.
Yeah.
But I think this is a really, really poor decision on their part
Yep.
And I go to pained lengths to try to say, look, this doesn't go along. I know you.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't align with any moral clarity that you and I agree upon.
Right.
And the things that you say are important to you, he's undermining left and right. Our economy is in the shitter. He's absolutely bungled an international health crisis.
Yep.
He's alienating people every time he speaks.
Europe's laughing at us. Basically, I mean, they're laughing at us.
Someone needs to point to me what I can point to a long list of things that Barack Obama did great, and I have no problem going, he didn't close Guantanamo, he continued drone strikes. I can criticize the man, but I can also point to a list. Somebody needs to be like, hey man, A, B, C, D, E. And it has to be stuff that has his name. Like, don't tell me, oh, we've had all these court appointees. That's got nothing to do with him, man. That's got Congress owns that one. And well played GOP Congress. You're getting what you want, but at what expense? And I'd like to think some of them are beginning to realize it. I think the less and less you see them speaking, the more they are like, let's just not talk between now and November. And if he loses, then he's no longer our boss.
Well, here's the thing that I think the American people, especially those that will be voting against Trump, we have memories that last a lifetime. Yeah. And we will remember the Mitch McConnells. We'll remember the Lindsey Grahams, the Jim Jordans.
They deserve to be drummed out. The Matt Gaetz, the Marco.
They got to go. They got to go. The Marco Rubios, the Ted Cruzes, they've got to go. They got to go. And so to that.
Is it that time? It's halftime. We do want to get this wrapped up so anybody who cares can get on to the DNC and watch my man Barry.
Man.
I want Barry to walk out to some funk. I kind of want him to walk out on stage like exhaling, like you don't know what I was just doing backstage. I want you to think the Choom Gang was hanging out backstage, getting functified before he walks on stage, because I'm going to say it, the best public speaker in my lifetime is speaking tonight.
Yeah,
Barack Obama is going to drop some serious motherfucking knowledge on people. So we were calling it halftime. I want to say this. I went to the watering hole last night. I was expecting to just sit at the bar.
Oh, okay.
Went up there, and I sat at a table of a gang of tapsters, man.
Man, that's cool.
The bartenders, waitresses, they had the night, and a couple of them had the night off. Four of them had the night off. Rudy was up there. It was a good gang of people.
That's cool.
Had some drinks. Gabe, sorry we're not broadcasting tonight. Didn't want to do it from the bar, but once we figure out the logistics of this, at some point, maybe a month or so from now, when it's a little bit easier, don't want to have the masks on, and outside, that's too loud, and also there's a grease trap. So, So, hey, shout out to Tappers, and shout out to all you great people out there that's listening to us. We love you, and it's halftime.
Sláinte. Smooth.
It is.
Smooth like the spring rain, my friend. Oh, I love you back.
All right.
There you go.
I want to get real with everybody for just a couple minutes. Get real, get personal. And also mention that after losing the first game, the Reds are up in the second of the doubleheader. So
KC, right? The Royals?
Yes, Kansas City Royals, which a week ago they had Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's as one of the cutouts behind home plate, but I can't see him tonight.
Dude,
so
when we going to get in on that action? When we going to get in on that action, bro?
And you can do it for the NBA and be live. So, hey, I want to point something out. Remember weeks and weeks and weeks ago when we were talking about what sports were going to be like, and I said they'd be smart to have an interactive app that you can be like, cheer, do this and do that. NBA app.
NBA.
Right now, you can cheer for your team. You just keep pressing a button, and the cheers get louder and louder. I don't think I deserve any money for that, but just so you know, I said it.
I'm just giving a shout out to the NBA, the bubble, the interactive app.
Doing a good job.
They're doing it. I think they're doing the best job that any major sports franchise can do. I really do. I got to give them props. Give them props.
Given how close proximity they all are, I think they've done a great job. I think the NWSL set the example in the MLS as well.
Yes. Yeah.
The thing is the ones that are successful, what do they all have in common? They went down to Orlando and did the bubble.
Yeah.
Got Major League Baseball, who's had some issues. I mean, they seem to
Yep.
be doing okay, but I mean, even our Red Legs had
Even
to
the
postpone a
Reds.
couple
Even
games
the
over the
Reds.
weekend,
Yeah.
for somebody testing positive. They're back at it. So it shows the protocols are nicely in place.
Yep.
But NFL, I think NFL is going to struggle. I mean, we're looking at all these right now, high school football all over the place. One kid gets positive and now there's like 14, 15. They're going
How
to
many
shut.
high schools have pulled back now? And
Well,
how many colleges?
Notre
Let's look
Dame,
at Notre
North
Dame.
Carolina, all
North
these
Carolina.
places. Yep.
I mean, it's an epidemic, man. And that's the thing. We're not treating it that way. We're not treating it as a pandemic.
Some people are.
Some people are.
But you've got people who think college football is the most important thing in the world. I mean, Mississippi's had massive outbreaks, and their governor's still like, "Well, I look forward to playing some football." I'm like, "Well, we all look forward to your hospitals being taxed for the next 2 months, dude.
Right.
Don't ask for federal aid in that case." So,
I think here's just my solution. I think we need to treat all sports this year, as a strike year. Remember whenever, baseball, remember Major League Baseball, whenever we had to go through the strike and, the games were canceled and it sucked and stuff like that. But boy, the following year, we were so happy to have it back.
Yeah.
If we were just to back up off of sports nuts right now, if we were to get off of just get off it and just say, you know what, look, one of my friends who was becoming a very dear, close friend of mine said back in May, summer 2020 is canceled. I mean, he was like, summer 2020 canceled. If we were to just say, okay, let's just treat for 1 year, let's just treat sports like it's a strike year. I mean, what does that mean for salaries? That's for someone else to figure out. But as far as we're concerned, if we really want to see progress be made, we have to put aside our own. We this, Aaron. We've got to put aside our own wants and needs. Well, not even needs. Our own wants to see people compete in sports, and to say, you know what? Look, it probably is going to be safer next year.
Well, I think there's a massive difference between what professional sports can do as far as keeping their athletes and employees safe versus what happens on a college campus and how colleges go about it. I think college and high school sports should be reduced, if not stopped. And I would hate that if I was losing my senior year. I mean, my senior year made me in high school. I matured late. I hit puberty late. So I came into as a freshman.
Same here.
And the physical abilities I had didn't translate at the time. I spent my sophomore and junior year kind of catching up. And then senior year, I was big man on campus when it came to playing soccer. No question. So if I'd have lost out on that, I don't know if I'd have been ready to play college soccer. I don't know if
it's because you guys were beating our ass. That's why in soccer. That's what happened.
That not in high school. We didn't play.
Okay.
I played in college.
College.
Yeah.
College. Okay.
But I would have been very disappointed because again you don't know, like, you can't tell a high school senior that prom doesn't matter. It's this thing that you've built up in your mind. It's important. It's massive. And you look back now and you're like, oh, Jesus, what a terrible suit. And who was my date? And we drank what? Like you look back and you're like, oh, it's like chasing a New Year's Eve party. It's like, it's never as good as you want it to be.
Right.
But you build it up in your mind. So your senior year of athletics, and your senior year of athletics is an important thing. It might get you a scholarship. It might be the difference between Division II and a full ride at Division I, and an education that gets paid for that you wouldn't have had. I can appreciate that. I get it. So I think there's a huge difference between scholastic and professional, and the professionals seem to be doing better at it.
Absolutely, and you're right. That is a different level, different layer that I did not address. But I will share this. My 14-year-old, I talked with her at length this week, just about kind of where, because her school went back to all virtual, and obviously it's because hey, this is
Mhm.
you know, people are starting to get test positive. And I asked her about it. And I know that she's disappointed. I know she's disappointed. But her answer to me whenever I said, "Hey, how are you feeling about things?" She's like, "You know what, Dad? At this point, I really don't care." And so what that communicates is two things. Number one, okay, she probably does care. She's 14. She probably does. It's her freshman year.
Sure.
She's going into high school. Yeah, she does. But what that also communicates to me is that I think these young people who are growing up during this time, who remember how it was and how it is,
Mhm.
they're starting to accept a lot faster, I think, than
Yeah.
adults are, the fact that this is a new world. It's a different world,
It
man.
shows a
It
level of maturity and understanding of what's going on around her,
it does.
and I, you know what? She's showing massive maturity over some state governors who
Sure.
clearly don't understand. Yeah, my thing
Yep.
is, you know, it's hard to compare this to anything because it's such a unique situation. But I'll say this: we've had various periods in history, and I hope that this is brief. I hope we can figure our shit out in the
Mhm.
next 6 months and get this under
Mhm.
control. And
Mhm.
it's a small thing. I don't want this generation to have stories that, if when they're 50, they're like, wow, remember that weird one year where we had an incompetent,
Yeah.
invertebrate as our president for some reason, and we didn't decide to take, um, an illness seriously. And I
Mhm.
hope it's not more than that. I
Yeah.
hope it's not, hey, by the fourth year, we were living in the attic.
Yeah.
Society had broken down. Um, we'd done this and that. All these different things had taken place, and
Mhm.
and society was on the brink. I'd like to think we're not there, but as somebody who has an appreciation for history, and you as an actual historian, a student of it, um, goddamn, there's an awful lot of parallels going on right now that are hard to ignore,
Yeah.
that give me pause. Uh,
Yeah. Yep.
so
Um, Man, I'm just going to, if it's okay with you, I'm just going to go ahead and ask my "Hey, Aaron" question for tonight, because
do
like
it, brother.
like Aaron, like you mentioned, we want to get you guys out of
Yeah,
here so you
we got
can tune
18
into
minutes. We'll get you out of here so you can
DNCC.
see. Wait, was Eva Longoria the host last night?
No, it was actually
It was somebody
uh,
different, wasn't it?
the lead actress from Blackish,
Okay, that's
and
what
she did a great job.
I
Th-
full disclosure, I
Amazing
did
job.
not watch live last night. I was
Yeah.
get drunk with our Chatham Tap friends.
Oh well, there you go.
So I've seen highlights, and so I was like, okay, somebody different. So I'm anxious to see
Yeah.
uh, who the woman of color in a scantily clad dress is this evening. Um,
Wow.
oh, come on! Am I wrong?
It'll probably be Idris Elba, and you know what that does to my
I got to
significant
be
other.
honest,
So.
dude. I get a little hot over Idris Elba too. Brother
Oh
is
yeah, absolutely,
he's
bro.
first off,
Oh God, here we go.
salt and pepper. Looks like he's going to be the next Bond guy.
I
And
hope so, dude.
he's got an English accent. And let's just give bonus points. Dude's a badass DJ. He's a badass DJ.
You ever heard the
So
song "Boasty"?
yes,
"Boasty"
I
is
have. And on top of that, he made a
banging.
movie about like British DJ culture. So I'm all
Oh shit.
in. I can get down on some Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
I'm totally fine.
Problem is he's
No problem.
English, so it's like,
Ain't no problem for me.
yeah, I don't care.
So's
I don't
Kate
care.
Abdo.
No, I just know that if it is
So's
Idris
Rebecca
Elba,
Lowe.
I know if it is Idris Elba, I will have to relegate myself
Oh,
to a
I get
lower
your
level.
point. I
You know
get
what
your
I mean?
point. He's
I got to get
no,
out of
no,
the
no,
room.
no.
I got to get out of the room.
Speaking at the Democrat National Convention. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
got to get out of the
Hit
room.
me, Aaron, because I want to finish up with some
Here we
personal
go.
knowledge, and we'll kick it. So,
Hey, Aaron, what would actually make America great? What would actually make America great, my friend? I thought about that question long and hard today. And, I know that you and I agree on so much. And I know that you're pretty eloquent with your words. And so, in leaving to go watch the DNCC, what actually would make America great?
What would make America great again? There's a lot to unpack because as a philosopher, I could start peeling the layers of the onion.
I know.
I'll say this. What would make America great again is a collective acknowledgement that America exists as a grand experiment and a pursuit of ideals, and the acknowledgement that from day one, we've been failing to live up to those ideals, but it's never too late to continue striving for them because we've tried, we've had progress, we've had backsteps, we've had progress, we've had backsteps. And as Taylor has eloquently pointed out, it's always been a question of the next generation, the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
I think making America great again is saying we're that generation.
Mm.
We will set an example of saying, we said we're going to do this and we haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still a worthwhile goal? Yes. Let's do that. We said all men are created equal. Well, then we put an asterisk by the sentence. So from day one, we said, we're hedging our bets. Hey, there's no shame in us going, I get it. I understand what the time was. Let's be better than that. That's not the time now. Let's not have this slavery, this caste system, this second classness. Let's acknowledge that the United States is born out of the failures of every other failed democracy that came before us, and that we're just picking up the pieces and trying to do a little bit better. Let's acknowledge that, because that's the first step toward greatness, is saying we're not there yet. Great teams, great coaches, great athletes, all of them will talk about their failures first. No great athlete begins a sentence, I've never made a mistake. There's a phenomenal Michael Jordan commercial about the fact that I was asked to take the final shot X amount of times and I missed more than I took. And it never stopped me from taking the next one. That's greatness. Greatness is saying, I am not living up to it, but I won't stop pursuing it. Not beating your chest and saying the U.S. is greatest at this when statistics show we're not.
We're not. Yeah.
Not false bravado. True greatness is acknowledging who you are and saying, I will be better. That's how you make America great again, Evan.
Man, Aaron, damn. Okay. Please just let me be your VP, dude. I just swear. Let me be your VP. That's all I want. I just want to run on a platform of, craft breweries. Every American deserves to enjoy craft beer. That's what I believe.
I'm going with legal weed and a free puppy for everybody.
Okay. All right. Well, then there you go. Hey guys,
and soda in the cafeteria. Wait. Hey, I want to, but before you wrap us up, I want to say one thing. Full disclosure, folks, 46 years old, just turned 46 on Friday, and had some health issues recently. I know I look like the picture of youth.
You do, brother. You do.
I'm a man, and I had a mammogram today. Wasn't the greatest thing I've ever had my entire life. There was concerns. I have a history of breast cancer in my family on my mother's side. Thankfully, I got my results pretty much right away. I have something called gynecomastia. Look it up. But I think the more we talk about these things, the more we talk about the fact that, hey, I'm 46. I'm getting close to needing to have a prostate exam. Probably should have a colonoscopy. All these things. I think the more we talk about this stuff, the less taboo it is. I didn't feel great about going to the breast exam center today at Eskenazi, and the nurse asked me twice, like, you sure that's where you're going? Yeah, I was. But it's something that we all got to deal with our health. These are taboo issues to some people. And I think it's important to talk about it. So,
well, it's not to me, brother.
I went, everybody look after yourselves. If you're close to 50, it's probably time. If you've never had a finger in your ass, you probably should have by now. But it ain't the worst thing that's ever happened. I can sympathize with all you women out there right now who've gone through these breast exams and probably had multiple breast exams. It didn't hurt, but it wasn't the most comfortable thing that I've experienced. And I'm a guy, so I don't really have a whole lot of breast to throw into the machine to begin with. And it got me to thinking, is this better or worse for women with bigger boobs? Like, I don't even know, because at least there's boob to get into it, but I don't know.
I don't
Anyway,
know, bro.
this is me being a little drunk and a little honest, just saying, hey, if somebody needs you to look after your health, go get it checked out.
Yep.
Mad props to Eskenazi Health downtown. That is one of the most well-run hospitals and outpatient centers I've ever been into, and I actually had to go there twice today. And they were phenomenal, super professional. Everything's automated, everything's well done. Got me in and out as quick as they could. And obviously, it's a bonus that I don't have breast cancer. So,
Yeah,
people, look after yourselves, look after your health, take care of your lives. Just another reminder, we love you. Well, you may vote for somebody else, but I don't hate you. I want your life to be good.
Yep.
Take care of yourselves. Evan, I love you.
Man, I'm so proud of you, dude. I'm so proud of you, man. Yeah, you're my people, man. You're my people,
We're our
and
people.
I appreciate you.
Everybody out there, hey, even if you're voting for the other guy, tune in the DNC. Maybe you'll catch something that changes your mind, or at least piques your interest, thinks it's interesting, or maybe you just don't like good speakers like Barack Obama. But everybody, thanks for tuning in, or whenever you watch this, maybe it's tomorrow. Have a good night. Reds are up 3-0,
Nice.
top 4 with Joey at the plate.
Ooh.
And so,
hey, everyone, please throw us a like or something like that. Make
Yeah.
sure next time you watch, share the video
yeah,
on your
definitely.
feed. That would be
Especially if
great.
you're watching this on Facebook, and it's super easy to share. But if you catch us on YouTube, hit that like, hit that subscribe, follow us, give us some feedback, call us idiots. I don't give a shit what you do. I've had
That's
people
okay.
tell me worse in a bar. It's kind of fun. It's all good. We're about it. We're about that life. So I'm having a drink, signing off, and I'm going to watch Barry O and the Chum Gang get after it. Good night.
I'm going to do the same thing. See y'all later. Peace.
You ain't live no more.